By removing or lowering anxiety in your life, you're going to get so much more accomplished. We're encouraged to have high anxiety because you'll buy more things, you'll spend more money, you'll be sicker, you'll be in the constant state of needing something if you're high anxiety. So removing the need to need something helps so many other aspects of one's life. You're in a state of constant anxiety, and I believe that this is the way that the majority of Americans live, is in, at the minimum, a low level anxiety. Regenerate is a wedge, is a crutch to get into a parasympathetic dominant state. It really helps regulate one's nervous system. When you're in a sympathetic dominant state, you do not repair. Your body thinks you're being chased by a lion. It's mobilizing everything it's got to give you more energy so that you can run away from the danger that your body perceives it's in. And in the modern day, there's not a bear running after us. It's the news. So regenerate is the wedge that can allow you to sense what it's like to not be in a sympathetic dominant state. I believe that there's people that have been in a sympathetic dominant state their entire lives, especially people that have had childhood trauma, especially people that have been misdiagnosed with ADD or ADHD, whatever the catch acronym is now from the white coats. What this is a destabilized nervous system. So it's been really unbelievable to hear from everybody who bought it for maybe to reduce alcohol, but then the ancillary effects of no longer needing to go on shopping sprees or no longer wanting to smoke marijuana anymore, or going from a daily smoker to an occasional smoker, to be a recreational thing instead of a have to have it thing for a lot of people. Regenerate started with a live-in girlfriend who was taking benzodiazepines. And I didn't know what a benzodiazepine was. All I knew is that suddenly there was something wrong with my girlfriend. So I knew the new medications that she was taking, and it was Xanax. Xanax is not fit for human consumption. People are getting addicted to Xanax in 3 days and having withdrawal symptoms from taking it for 3 straight days. Doctors know that after 2 weeks, people are hooked on this. This was originally designed as a very temporary medicine. They weren't supposed to prescribe it for more than a month. Now, because of general anxiety disorder, or GAD for short, they're prescribing benzodiazepines long term to people. And the tolerance starts very rapidly. And then when the tolerance starts, the dose that they gave you isn't enough to keep the anxiety away. And there's a rebound effect. The anxiety gets incredibly high as soon as that medicine starts to wear off, which happens faster and faster. So it's a really dangerous group of drugs. And I'm very confident that once the opiate crisis is over, that then they're going to move over to the benzodiazepines, and everybody will be talking about how horrible benzodiazepines are for you. You know, the Friends star Matthew Perry, in his book, which is getting a lot of reads right now because he just passed away, rest in peace, Matthew Perry. I think it was when he was 4 or 5 years old, maybe even younger. His mother's doctor prescribed benzodiazepines to little Matthew because he was crying too much or a bother to the mother. So you get on these substances from a young age, and then that's the way that your nervous system figures out how to stabilize. I started researching how benzos exert their action on the brain and why when people come off benzos that they're such a mess. And it interrupts the GABA system in the brain. It is the molecule that puts the brakes on your neurons so that neuron to neuron communication does not happen too quickly. It's very important. So if you have too much information flow, more than your 2 hands and 2 feet or 2 eyes or 2 thumbs can handle, you're at an input output bottleneck, essentially. So if your brain's moving 1,000,000 miles an hour, but you can't get that 1,000,000 mile an hour out into your two thumbs or your hands if you're trying to build something, that's why there's GABA. And GABA comes from food, but GABA rides the vagus nerve up to the brain. So if you're polluting your body with alcohol or with terrible food loaded with glycophates and your gut microbiome is in a terrible condition, you're not getting the GABA from food, and the alcohol is depleting it. So no one should quit benzos cold turkey, and anyone who's doing excessive amount of alcohol should not quit cold turkey. It's well documented. I mean, the brain zaps, the seizures, the general feeling of malaise, these things should be tapered, and Regenerate was designed to assist in the tapering of benzodiazepines. And it turns out that alcohol and benzodiazepines hit the same part of the brain. So it works equally well for both of those. It smashes GABA, both absorption and production, because alcohol is very molecularly similar to GABA. It's putting the brakes on your neurons. So your brain starts to rely on those substances slowing down the neurons. So it worked for her. And then she decided that she preferred living life consuming a lot of drugs. So that was it. So we went our separate ways, but I put a lot of time into this and it really works. It actually really works. And it did work for her. And it's been working for others. And a lot of people have quit alcohol using this. When you're in a low level of anxiety, you're in a state of need. You need something. You need some stimulus. You need to buy something. You need a drink. You need something. When you remove that needing, that's a sympathetic dominant state. Then you get into that rest, digest, and relax. There's 100 servings in it. If you're using the max dose, that's 3 servings a day. It's about a month's worth, a little bit over a month's worth. When I take it, it's very potent. Most of the feedback that I've received is that it's very potent. So y'all know what I'm talking about, that mental clarity, that regenerated feeling, the feeling of being able to actually use your brain instead of being in a constant state of low level fear or anxiety. It's going to pay dividends down the road for sure. The dosing is very important. This is not something that, oh, I always take double whatever the dose says and I'm always good. Don't do that. There's some unpleasant effects, especially in the first time you take it. Figured out it disrupts the GABA system. So now the next question is, how do you get it into the brain? We need to vasodilate everything. We need blood flow boosters, vasodilation things to get that in. Back in 2019, it had 5 ingredients. Now it has 18. There can be some very unpleasant effects. You're going to have to breathe more when you flush. You have to inhale and exhale more because that feeling of being on the verge of being out of breath is uncomfortable. And that can happen to a lot of people. I think most people learn to really like it. They just need to understand what's going on and why. And that's got to get that GABA into the brain. And I love it. I love that heat. When that heat comes on, I want to be out in the sun, or I want to be in a cold plunge, or I want to be in a cold shower. And if I can't be in a cold plunge or out in the sun, if I can go for a walk, that's wonderful. If I can't, that's fine too. It's just the flushing for me doing nothing feels like I'm wasting a good time, if that makes sense. And then usually about when the heat's tapering off, you'll feel a wave of relaxation, a wave of anxiety falling. So some people, that can make them a little bit tired because they're used to running on anxious energy. When I'm doing it, I'd like 2 doses, one in the morning because I feel like it clears my mind, and then either one in the afternoon if I really need to keep working hard, or I'll wait till that hour before bed one. Doubling the REM sleep. You got to find your dose. Your dose will change over time. Just to address another point, some people say that it's expensive, but keep in mind it's up to a 3 month supply. All of the products that I do, it has to make sense to me. And $220 for a 3 month supply of something that makes sense to me, or even a month supply. If you're in an acute situation, whether it's a high stress life change or you're under high stress because you're changing the physiology of your body, because you're changing what you're putting into your body on a daily basis, that's physical stress. So that's the time to do 3 doses a day or up the amount per dose and do 2 doses a day, whatever your dosing protocol is. And also, the feedback that I've received from people that have sleep monitors on what Regenerate is doing to their REM sleep is astounding. To double your REM sleep on the first dose of Regenerate, that's and to see it happen in multiple people, I mean, even if you go to a white coat and say, hey, is doubling my REM sleep good? They even know that doubling your REM sleep is good. They might argue with you all day on diet, on what they believe in diet, but none of them are going to say, yeah, that's too much REM sleep. You better back down on the REM sleep. That's not going to happen. So it's really cool how some of the same circuitry in the brain, how that's influencing other things. And it makes sense. If you're super high anxiety, why would your body put you in an ultra deep sleep? It needs you in a shallow sleep so that you can wake up for the danger. But it turns out that the danger is your boss or an event coming up. It's fine to get deep sleep. So let's knock the anxiety out, double the REM sleep, and heal. You can do it with breath work. You can do it with meditation. You can do it with taking your motorcycle out for a ride. There's many ways to do this. And if you don't know how to meditate and you don't have a motorcycling or a cycling or something that you do to calm down, if what you do to calm down is drink, you need a wedge, you need a tool to replace that, to get your body out of physical and chemical stress, because alcohol is chemical stress as well. When you're in a parasympathetic dominant state, you can access that without having a substance. So you can feel like how you feel on those brief occasions when alcohol is at the right level and you're in the right situation where you're feeling confident, you're feeling secure. You can get to that, but not with a destabilized nervous system, and not when it was destabilized at 4 and you never figured it out and you're 44 right now. You need something to help, and this Regenerate product helps. People are getting control of their nervous system, and control of their nervous system is control of their lives from Regenerate. It's really cool. I love getting on the phone with y'all and just talking about how Regenerate has affected your lives. I've purposefully done is engineer my life to do the things that I like to do, which was not fight with banks and auctions and shippers. It was riding bicycles and being a positive influence on those that I come in contact with. So that's what I'm doing. It's fun to modify yourself and feel more athletic, feel healthier when you just feel better because you feel better, and you don't need any external things to feel great. And everybody else who gets to get into their parasympathetic dominant state, their rest, digest, relax, where they can then engineer their life for what makes them stay in that state. Not just, I'm going to drink a bunch of espresso and I'll make it through this 10-hour day. That's not the life. Figure out how to engineer your life to feel good all the time. I understand it's expensive. Understand that it's 100 doses, 100 doses that you will feel. How many drinks does it take you to feel the way you want to feel? 3, 4, 5, 2, 1? What does each one of those drinks cost? So 100 servings, I understand it's $220. That's a lot of money, but it's 100 servings. What are you paying to stabilize your nervous system through the pharmaceuticals, through the alcohol, through the marijuana, through the hemp? What are you spending on the ancillary things of when you do get inebriated? What are you buying then? What bad decisions are you making then? And how in control are you of your substance use? And then the resulting effects. The price to me comes down really fast in a hurry. And even all of that aside, I would spend more than that on a supplement. I pause greatly and do a lot of research and read a lot about it before I spend $220 for sure. I'd be looking up the 18 ingredients in there, but it works. Tally up what your monthly wine expenditure is. Is that more than 220? Then calculate your 3-month wine expenditure. Is that more than
Yeah.
220? If somebody's really bad off, 33 servings or whatever it works out to be in tablespoons, that's still great. So sometimes life presents issues where you just need something that works. You don't have time to concoct your own. You need it now and you need it to work. And after you go through your first bottle, we've got discount codes. If you come to us and say, I gave half this away to my friends and family, we'll help you out. So we've got an auto ship program where you'll just get a bottle every month. Thank you so much to all the regenerators, to all of the regenerators, and especially to the regenerators that are regenerating themselves, their family, and their friends, and their coworkers, and throwing regenerate parties. When you're regenerating, you can just see their eyes. It's like after that heat, and then their eyes are just like open more. All of y'all are being the change that you want to see right now. We're going to help a lot of people with this. And I truly believe that everyone, especially the people that are involving friends, families, coworkers, that it's going to be an incredible change to everyone's lives. And it's been really fun. I know that I've helped a lot of people, which is great. It feels great to help. I appreciate y'all coming to ride with me and regenerate with me.